Hello, my name is Stephanie Reinhardt and I am your child's science teacher this year. So welcome to 7th grade science. Hopefully you are in the right spot. Sorry that I cannot be here this evening. I am away at 6th grade camp with the Explorers. I'm going to start by telling you just a little bit about me. This is my 11th year teaching at Parkway Southwest Middle School. I am married. This is my husband Brian. And we have a 2-year-old son that just started preschool. Here is my family. I'm a very big family-oriented person, so I have 2 sisters and a brother, and my parents and 2 nieces. So I went to the University of Missouri-Columbia, where I studied early childhood and elementary education. I then proceeded to get my master's degree also through Mizzou in general curriculum and instruction. I started at Southwest teaching English and geography, and then I switched to teaching math. 1 year I was also an instructional coach type of a position here, a mentor, and worked a little bit for the University of Missouri that year. That was 4 years ago, and then I switched to science. So this will be my 3rd year teaching science, and I absolutely love all of the subjects, but have a true passion for science. Some of the units we will be doing this year, not some, but all the units we'll start with some experimental design where I'll throw in some safety. Then we'll move to growth and development of organisms. Next will be energy and waves, talking a lot about light, visible light, the electromagnetic spectrum. Then we'll move to space systems. The kids love space. We did start that last year, start the year with space systems last year because of the eclipse, but we're moving it back. It just makes a little bit more sense to learn more about energy and waves and how we use the technologies to study space. And we'll end with properties of matter and chemical reactions, which the kids love because there's a lot of experiments towards the end of the year. If you are curious as to the exact standards and the learning targets for each unit, you can visit my website. I did link it on this presentation, but it also can be found just by going to Southwest page and looking for the Trailblazers and then clicking on my name. So you will see up here, for example, if I click on space systems, are the learning targets. I'm going to go back to my slide right now. So a lot of parents wonder about what is the grade book breakdown. So I believe very strongly in formative assessments, and as you'll see here, I weight that at 0%. To me, that's like soccer practice. We're practicing our skills. I'm coaching your children. I'm pulling them aside, maybe practicing with them on something like throw-ins where the next kid needs to work on corner kicks a little bit more. So kind of hitting their needs, either one-on-one, small group. Sometimes I will give a formative and the whole class doesn't do well. Lets me know that was my teaching, and we will all continue to work on that skill. I did classwork and labs 40%, so that's just going to be all of our daily work that we do. And then homework and projects is 25%. Honestly, there is not much homework that I give in my course, and not many projects, so we're going to try to implement a few more this year. If your child is an 8th-hour challenge, he or she will definitely have more homework and projects than I expect out of just the Science 7 course. Summative assessments, which would be considered tests and quizzes to many of us, are 35% of the child's grade. Hoping that obviously they would be scoring pretty high by this time after all of the practice that we've been doing. Each kid will have a folder of all the standards for the year, and in that folder we will keep track of their progress at meeting those standards from little check-ins that we do. Sometimes those are going to be online via Schoology, sometimes they're going to be really quick exit slips in the form of little papers that they turn in. Sometimes they might be written little portions, questions I do. Sometimes it could even be a do now that I'm assessing. So you'll see grades for that. That's just for me to track the progress and the growth for you as a parent to see as well, and obviously the student, since we're all stakeholders in the learning, but they will never be docked for not doing as well in a formative assessment. Again, those count as 0. Some resources that we utilize, we use Discovery Education, and also I'll be using
Isabella Urian, will you please report to the parent pickup
kind
lot?
of pick and choose what
Isabella
we do out of
Urian,
those
thank
websites. And we also pull from a lot of other things. And when I say we, I mean Mr. Larson, and he is the other science teacher on the other team. Google Classroom is a big resource that your children will be using. We've already started. I post a lot of announcements in Google Classroom, my slide presentations at times, links to different games and activities, kind of whatever we're doing in Google Classroom. Parents will often ask me, like, how do I access what my kid's doing in class? I will talk a little bit about that more as I go in my presentation, but I also wanted to tell you that going to your kids' Google Classroom and just asking them to see what we're doing is a great resource, as well as looking in their science notebooks. So we do use the old school science notebooks, I call them. I was looking for one, hold on. These, and your child's is likely green, but it doesn't have to be. One thing I want to give you some information on is a remind system I have. So if you have unlimited texting and you're not getting charged, I would highly recommend that you sign up for this. Many of the kids have already. Basically, I have an app on my phone that allows me to shoot messages via text message to anybody that's following the remind system that I created. You may not answer back to me. I do not accept replies. So if you have a question as a parent or student about something that is texted to you through this app, you would have to email me to get further information. If you want to do this, I'm going to ask you now to pull out your phones. Pretty simple. You're going to compose a text message. And in your to, you're going to type 81010. I also have it here. That might be hard for you guys to see. And then in your message, you're going to do the @ symbol. You need that @ symbol. 2H7F7F. And once you send it out, it'll ask for your full name. You can just write your first name, last initial. That's fine with me. And then it'll text you again, asking if you're a student, parent, or teacher, and you can just write P for parent. And then you'll be getting my reminds. I remind about field trip permission slips, t-shirt forms that are due, tests coming up, study guides. I will also be emailing you all about tests and study guides with answers before the test. So you'll kind of see me doing that, and I'll put that in my header because sometimes I send out a few too many emails maybe, and you're not going to read them all. I get that. So you'll know when those more important ones for you preparing your kid for a test might be coming. Again, I already kind of talked about this, so ask your kid what they're learning about, go to their Google Classroom. Lastly, I'm going to try to utilize this more this year. Honestly, I'm not that great about it. The only reason I put stuff on the calendar is for parents, so it's something I have to kind of remember, honestly, to do at the end of the day. So if you access our Trailblazer website and you go to calendar, you will see this. And it could be a lot, but it basically will tell you, and your child's English teacher will talk also on the website, everything that we have that day. So if you go here and you click, I'm just going to Friday, it says like measurement lesson, okay, and then if you click on this, you should be able to access the PowerPoint presentation, of course, if you do have Google Slides. If not, again, ask your kid, say, hey, get on your Chromebook, let me see with you kind of what you're learning, what you're doing today. So especially if your kid's absent, go here. Of course, you can always email me too, asking me questions. All right, we're almost done. I hope that I still have like another minute. But again, here's just my email if you have questions. And if you are, if your child is an 8th hour, I wanted to share with you this slide. If not, you can ignore it. We're done with the presentation and we can stop it. But if your child is, we do have 3 projects throughout the year. One is going to be science fair, and that will begin in November. I will be requiring your child to write 2 to 3 papers on a science topic that they actually have a lot of choice in, watching a podcast, reading an article. There's a whole breakdown. It's called Science in the News, and I'll be going over that with the kids probably beginning of September. And then we do have weekly homework reading and responses, which are posted in Google Classroom. And again, that will start also in early September as soon as I get back, so probably next week. And those are due on Friday night. So thank you. Look forward to working with you and your children this year. And again, anytime you have questions, concerns, or anything pops up, we are here for your children. So go ahead and contact me. Email is probably best, but you can also give me a call. Thanks and have a great night.